Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. We've said this before. There are only ladies present here. There will be many listening in the future of other genders, but only the feminine is here. We really want you to dismiss the fact that you hear a male voice. I speak through my partner. It's a precious time. I ask him to leave, not step aside. He will listen to the channeling later. There's no secrets here. It's just an honoring of the feminine. The creative source is genderless. And yet the genderless nature of it actually is more attuned to the feminine than the masculine. And as we've said before on this planet, the feminine are the ones that give birth. As life givers, the intuition is higher and the connection is faster to the creative source. This alone should show you and prove to you that those thousands of years ago, at the beginning of all things, when there was the time when you had the choice between light and dark and you understood what the creative source meant and where it came from, it should show you why it was women who carried the torch of divinity. It's intuitive, absolutely intuitive. It's almost like you see the woman and it comes with the territory. Today, when you look at the feminine of the planet, you say they are the ones who give birth. It comes with the territory. It's automatic. We also told you that back then your DNA was working at a higher efficient level. Consciousness was higher when you started. It came down a few notches, more than a few notches, over thousands of years, with free choice. It's part of the reason that the gender flip took place. Why men are in control today of almost all things spiritual. I've also told you that this is the beginning of a shift on this planet, where the male and the female come together and there's again an honoring. More and more you're going to see an intuition take place. It says that the women are very, very well equipped to carry that which is spiritual to the planet. Doesn't it make sense that in order to teach love, you would want a feminine energy? When the baby first opens his eyes and knows what love is like, it looks at a feminine face. All the genders look at you. It makes total sense that again it would return to balance. Thousands of years ago, you look at something called Lemuria, which you've even admitted that you don't understand. You don't have to. The very word should chime in your Akash and put you in the chair today. Lemuria is not a place, really. It's a state of mind. This is the reason that Meliha has no profound memories of things that took place or what she did or what she did not do. Instead, it's a state of mind. And it speaks of a high consciousness where the divinity of the feminine leadership meant something. Some of you can put yourself in that place right now. I want you just to pretend if you have to. For there are those in this group who were there. Lemuria lasted a long time. We've told you how it worked. How literally some humanity passed through it. You didn't reincarnate there. You only had one lifetime and passed to other places. And the whole reason for that is so those who passed through it would see how it worked. I want you to pretend if you have to. How did it feel? How did it feel for you to be honored? For the humanity that you saw, both genders, knew who you were, understood that this is the way of it. It's absolutely commonly known in a society that you're in that you would hold the torch of divinity and teach others. Shamans were women, healers were women. And the men loved you for this. You had a gift and they knew it. They did men's business. They had things that men needed to do. They had to be the ones to give you survival, to take care of you as you took care of them. In a spiritual sense, you were their divine mothers, and they knew it. I want you to think of a society where you could walk from place to place and literally be seen as the priestesses that you were. And it was this way. It was a grand time of learning and balance. It wasn't perfect. But the role of the genders was proper and correct. And many of you were there. Some of the reasons why you were drawn to this meeting, to listen to this channel, to be part of what is coming in the ceremony and song. Part of the reason is that at some level, you remember it. You're drawn to it because, dear ladies, there is no error or mistake that again you carry this energy to the planet during the shift. Those of you who will go through this and remember and carry this energy forward in this shift will be rekindling the energy of ancient information and balance. Now I want to ask you something as this meeting begins. Is it possible that you could not pretend now? Is it possible you could rekindle the feelings right now of being honored, of being in charge, of the information of the creative source and not keeping it from others but distributing it in freely, in loving fashions, benevolence? And you might say, well, I can pretend, but it's not that way on the planet right now. Earlier in this day, my partner gave you the reasons why affirmations work. You put energies in place, looking at the potentials of the future, and you realize them as you affirm. I am telling you that the balance of this planet will eventually change. And the role between the genders, when it comes to that which is spiritual teaching, will be far more balanced than it is today. In almost every organization, some of them seeming impossible to you that women would have a role, you will have women leading. Because a higher consciousness on the planet will demand it. Because it's normal, and they'll see it. That's coming. Can you put yourself right now in a place where you feel it actuated, as though it were here now? Because this is the secret to recreating Lemuria. How you felt then, I want you to grasp in your Akash and bring it to how you can feel now. And even though you would say the reality of the planet is not that, by actuating as though it was that, you push the envelope of reality and potentials and make it so. This may be difficult for some of you to understand, but the very action of feeling you are there yet again, that you are leading the planet spiritually there again, then again and again, the more you do it, the more it becomes reality. You see, what you're doing is placing upon the crystalline grid instructions for what is to come. It's harder now than it was then, really. A lower functioning DNA, a world which is male heavy, organizations which claim to be spiritual, which are simply a good old boys club. And yet I'm telling you that the divine feminine of this planet can awaken the planet like no other energy on earth. Let those who carry humanity in their womb listen to this. The baby awakens and looks in the mother's eyes, and it's the only connection it has to the love of God. Let that baby be the planet Earth. You're more important than you know. Let these groups flourish around the planet. A little at a time makes a big difference. In this new energy, you're sacred. And so it is.